In The Punisher, a helicopter carries Frank Castle and head of the Gracie crime family as they head towards the Gracie estate overlooking the Hudson River north of New York City. Frank Castle tells Mario Gracie he should go to the hospital as earlier Gracie was shot in the chest by Bullseye in an assassination attempt. Mario tells Castle hospitals aren't the safest place, but as the helicopter touches down, he's greeted by his family members and they wheel him out on a stretcher. Now, as the Punisher steps off the helicopter, everybody's like, what the fuck? And they immediately up cannons at Frank Castle. Mr. Gracie's right hand man, Barbarossa, starts beating the shit out of some of the guys as he tells them that Frank is with Mr. Gracie. Now, as Gracie's granddaughter demands to know what's going on, he informs her that he has asked Frank to be the new head of the crime family. Now, everybody's like, what the fuck? You can't be serious. Nevertheless, it's getting late, so Mr. Gracie's brought inside while Barbarossa shows Frank Castle around. Frank is introduced to Leslie Gracie, the devoted granddaughter, Joey, the scheming son who feels like he should be the new crime boss, as well as Mary Rose, the sweet 16 spoiled brat whose hormones are out of control. Frank is also introduced to Thomas Nicholas, the family lawyer, as well as Kim Sung Young, who's a specialist, so to speak. As Frank Castle goes inside, Leslie has a few choice words for him, as she believes her grandfather is making a mistake, so she tells Castle if he knows what's good for him, he would be gone by dinner time. Barbarossa tells Frank that everybody basically believes he'll betray the crime family, and he does as well. Now, Frank is like, then why the fuck are you acting so cool? But Barbarossa basically tells him because the boss said you're in charge. But elsewhere in New York City, at a suite belonging to Sho Hanakawa, the Yakuza want to expand their reach in New York City, but they know they must take out the other crime families first. They talk about how the Gracie crime family has grown weak and how their leader is sick and he cannot be found anywhere. They decide they should strike, especially seeing as their leader has no one to replace him. Now, back at the Gracie estate, as the family sit and have dinner, a lot of the Gracies are in objection over Frank Castle's presence as he's literally killed members of the Gracie family. Frank tells everybody to shut the fuck up because it's time for him to speak. Frank basically tells everybody that he's the Don now and he expects to be obeyed. Now, those that do not obey will be punished, and those who have difficulties accepting that should meet him outside in 15 minutes. Now, Frank goes to his room and puts on his Punisher outfit as he prepares to kick some ass. But Frank gets an unlikely visitor in the form of Mary Rose, the horny 16-year-old. She picks up a picture of Frank's family and asks him about their whereabouts, but Frank snatches the picture and tells her they're dead as they were killed by people like her grandfather. Mary Rose apologizes, then she hugs Frank and gives him a kiss while telling him she's happy that he's the new crime boss. A little over 15 minutes later, and Frank Castle is on the rooftop of a house as he's doing reconnaissance on all the members of the crime family that have come to take him down. As the men wonder where Frank Castle is, they start to hear something in the distance before a Jeep plows out the garage and totally decimate their little crew. One of the men manages to get in the back of the Jeep and he tries to take a bat to Frank Castle's head. As the Jeep is about to drive off a ravine, Frank Castle hits the guy in the face and grabs him and leaps out of the vehicle as he doesn't want to kill the guy. The Jeep lands on a helicopter and totally destroys the thing. Now, some of the men think Frank Castle has to be toasted by the explosion, but Frank Castle pops up, bat in hand, ready to whip some more ass. All of the men attempt to rush Frank Castle, seeing as they have him outnumbered, but it's no use as the Punisher tears through the enemy ranks while yelling he's the Punisher. As more and more men start dropping like flies, one of the crime bosses decides, fuck it, he's gonna pull out his gun and shoot Punisher and kill him and deal with the consequences later, even though Mario Gracie said no guns. Now, before he could dispatch the Punisher, Leslie Gracie shoots the gun out of his hand and informs him that her grandfather's rules will be obeyed, and if he breaks them again, she'll kill him herself. Now, needless to say, Frank Castle came out victorious, but elsewhere in New York City, Judge Robert Braithwaite prepares to deal with his massive caseload before he's confronted by the Punisher, or at least someone that is impersonating the Punisher. He tells the judge that he never should have got sent to the electric chair, and now he must be punished as he shoots the judge in the chest. To be continued.